reason. We're going to do some pre-market stuff. Not full get into the weeds pre-market stuff, but we're going to do kind of share just a quick pre-market. As you can see, I've already been trading. Well, some of that's portion of that's overnight, and then did miss that CL trade there. Just getting organized here a little bit. Give me a second here just to finalize things, check the audios, make sure everything's good. We'll be trading the session. Wait for the open. We had some news here already. I'm sure most thought or most traded the reaction, hopefully. We'll put Telegram up there. Booyah. All right. There we go. Sorry for the silence for a little bit, but we'll jump in here. Everybody, if you're just joining, feel free to like. Never been one to be like, hey, like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Never been like that. But you know what? Maybe I need to. Who knows? All right. So we are here. I am here. We're live. Just going to share this across, at least in Discord and Telegram. If you do like Telegram better, definitely you can follow along in Telegram. So if that's something that you like Telegram more because it's typically just updates and not news, that's something to definitely subscribe to. So we are today going to focus a little bit on kind of back to the basics. What I mean by that is we got one negative or bad trading, or one bad trading habit. Now, for those that are potentially new, I do share my P&L. Go to my direct stock trading. You'll see a link down below. I do share my P&L, and then in my P&L, I typically share maybe a synopsis of my journey, or my journal. Sorry. So you know, been reducing my size in trading. You see here, and it really stems from kind of the first red day I've had in a long time. I need to update that when I get time. So I don't know where it's at. It's back here somewhere. A couple weeks ago. We'll find it somewhere around here. There it is, negative 59,000. That kind of hurt. That day kind of hurt. That was a bad trading habit from 2 or 3 years that basically caught up to me. Kind of first red day in a long time. Probably 3 years or something, or 2 years. I don't know what the exact time was. Obviously, negative 59,000. I made it back made some of it back the next day, and then made more than enough back the day following. So then from there, I haven't had a red day. But you'll see that I've reduced my size substantially. Some of this is when I was on chemo treatment too. So for instance, next week I'll be getting chemo treatment. I have cancer. So I reduced my size. Now this P&L is typically what I make when I'm on treatment. I just reduced my size. But I reduced my size anyways. My trading size, because you know it's become apparent that I've developed a bad trading habit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through pre trade mindset routine. I didn't create one specific, and I need to do that so that I'm specifically dealing with my number one issue. But for those that haven't seen this is part of the training. I think this is actually even free on YouTube. I think I did this free on YouTube. I don't know. You can find it on YouTube. It's probably something like pre-trade mindset. This is an example of something. I know it seems like what is this? There's a signature and there's a date and time. Who are you signing this for? Well, you're signing a contract with yourself. Like it's you here in trading. Let me make sure my audio has been like that. It's you. The market's about to open, what, in 13 minutes? It's you against the market. I mean, you might be fortunate to maybe spend a one-time fee, and join a membership like mine, where I show up every day, and then there's a group of people there as well that show up, trading the same system. But what they're not just trading the same system, they're taking a system and then they're making it their own, right? They're trading a philosophy of the market and a system that has edge, and then they're making it their own. You're still on this journey alone. Well, at the end of the day, you're still there wherever you're at, by yourself, with your own psychological hangups, your own mindset hangups, whatever else is going on in your life. So much of trading is, and I'm not sure I'm not telling you anything new. Much of trading is what? It's between your two ears, and then it's how you control that. And so, really, one of your focuses needs to be is how to best self-adjust yourself, so that you're not continuously making bad habits or bad trades, or you're not trading bad. So one of the ways that I think that is very powerful, and if you buy into this or not, and what we'll do after we go through this is then we'll go and do our pre-market. So you can see here I did one trade here on that move up to the RDA. Once again, the RDA for the win. Look at that. It just doesn't get more perfect in trading than that. Like, not my entries. I'm not talking about my entries. I'm just saying, look at, of course there's a level here. So you could have traded the level. We could have just traded raw price action. But then with the added guidance of the RDA, just got more edge. So I've adopted this. I mean, I've stopped doing it because my trading, I've been able to just do my pre-market without this mindset aspect of it. I sit down and just do my high-level time frame analysis, and then jump into the charts and start trading. But it's obvious to me that I have or I have a bad negative trading habit that I'm having a challenge squashing. It was apparent in yesterday's stream. I was a lot more ornery, I guess is the word, yesterday. There's a couple other things going on personally too that I just didn't share. So I'm dealing with some stuff personally that, life stuff is just the way it is, right? So I'm dealing with life stuff. But, I'm a trader, so I trade. So life stuff's going to come up no matter what you're doing, positive and negative. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through this pre-trade mindset routine. This is kind of what I made for an example. And then I shared, this is the template, and I shared the template. If you want to, one thing that I did during my process to becoming a consistently profitable trader that could consistently and reliably pull capital from the market. And if you have time, I think I've been streaming pretty consistently for the last 60 days. If you have time, go ahead, watch the streams over the last 60 days. So at least at the last 60 days, you can see that I'm consistently and reliably pulling capital from the market. It's longer than that. I've been streaming longer than that. I'm just saying that, if you got an extra, I don't know, whatever it is, 10 to 20 hours, it's probably more than that. So let's go through this. Let's just jump in instead of just talking about it. So really, what I do is mine used to be 2 pages long, and then I would have my number one issue. So my number one issue I need to deal with is, and it's going to be a long issue, or not a long issue, but I've developed the habit of, because I have enough dry powder and capital, that my plan is to always trade myself into a profitable trade. I'm fairly okay at it. I mean, I'm pretty good at it. But one of these days, it's going to come to bite me, because I'm not, the more that I trade that style, I'm trading against my system oftentimes. Or, for instance, yesterday, there were 2 trades that you can go watch the stream. One, the GC trade early in the morning, really kind of added to the overall emotional burden I was carrying from all the other stuff that was going on. So it made me a little skittish in the market. Didn't trade my normal aggressive style. And then in the afternoon session, I stuck with the trade that in my normal behavior of trading, I would typically reverse when all the signals align like they did. I had tunnel vision because I even talked about how I should actually get out of the trade with a minimal loss, and I had the opportunity, and I narrated what I should do, and there was a disconnect between my brain and actually executing that trade. So I'm utterly frustrated. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know how you look at it, you're watching a trader basically go through solving one of his psychological and bad trading habits that he's developed over the last 2 years. That's kind of unique in some ways, because obviously one of the reasons why I'm able to trade or have this bad habit is that, well, actually, I'm not properly utilizing my capital. That's the other thing that really pisses me off about this whole thing. It's like I'm not properly deploying my capital in the most effective fashion with this trade style. So for instance, yesterday during that trade, I didn't focus on any other trade opportunities that exist on the charts that I trade. Focused on one trade during those 2 trades, actually. That is limiting my opportunity for what I trade. It is limiting my deployment of capital. It's just it's not acceptable. So I'm pretty good at self-correcting. Obviously not, though, because there's a disconnect. There still is a disconnect. So let's go through this. So basically all it is you would create something like this in your own. I used to print it out, and then I would journal. I still journal like crazy. I journal. And then I do it in graph paper. I used to, just so you know, I used to print out my charts and go out and draw up the charts, and then draw every trade that existed, and I'd print out the 4 chart. I mean, I went through so much laser toner ink, just printing out charts. And then I would staple, I should take a picture of this. I would staple my pre-trade mindset routine signed, and then printed out charts, and then my journal. So I like to write. I still like to write things down. I type enough. I'm on the computer enough. When I can maybe just write things, I like to do it. So, I say this out loud. I would say I am or will become a highly profitable trader. Preservation of my capital is foremost in my mind. I will trade my system, and I will trade it with conviction. I should probably say that 10 times. I will trade my system, and I will trade it with conviction. I will fix mistakes immediately. That's a big one. If you could adopt one thing, the ability to fix a mistake in a trade immediately. Like if you get into a trade and then you just say, "Oh, that's a mistake," fix it immediately. Like don't hesitate. 9 times out of 10, you'll be thankful. I do not put value on anything I trade. That's a big one for some of you. I know that for a fact because I got a DM from someone that basically said, "I don't believe that it's possible to make this much money when I watch your stream." Well, can't help that person. They have self-defeating mindset. They're where are they going to get with trading, let alone other opportunities in their life if they have that mindset? I will not lie to myself. This is a big one. Do this later. Go look in a mirror. Look yourself in the eye. It's going to be very uncomfortable. So you probably want to do it when no one else is around. And ask yourself, am I lying to myself? Specifically about trading. Look yourself in the eye and say, am I going to really be successful at trading? Now, I'm assuming, I'm taking it from the perspective that, you're a beginning trader or whatever, but, wherever you're at in trading, right? So, I should go, I'm not going to do it because I don't have a mirror right here, but I should look myself in the mirror, in the eye, and see if I'm lying to myself. Gut check myself. You can do the little Larry David look if you want to, if you really want to, but say, am I lying to myself? Am I going to solve this trading issue, or do I just I don't know, live with it. Just know one day I'm going to wake up and it's going to hurt me bad. So lying to yourself is, it seems odd. No, I don't lie to myself. Can you expound on putting a value on what you trade? Yeah, definitely. So what I mean is, and this is a high level concept. All right, it's not a high level. Who would buy Facebook at $100? What idiot would buy Facebook at $100? Here's another one I would have, and I'm giving you examples. On Fridays, oftentimes, there would be bad news. Let's say there was some kind of invasion happening or something, right? And the market's ripping up. When I used to listen to Bloomberg, they would say, oh, the risk on. I'd be like, who would want to hold stocks into the weekend when the world's exploding? Like, it's going to sell off. So I'd be shorting the market on a clear momentum and bias day. So that's what I mean by putting value in things. Like, don't ever think that anything is too expensive. Anything is too cheap. Oh, well, let's look at NatGas, for instance, right? Let's look at the NatGas chart. Just real quick. So let's go here. So this is NatGas over here, right? And if we look at NatGas on a daily, like, okay, now we were having this discussion a couple weeks ago anyways. And I was saying the trade of the quarter is actually an opportunity in NatGas when it was down here. And I'm still in this for a long-term trade. So I was buying NatGas. I said I was buying NatGas all the way down to like $1. I said I'd buy NatGas all the way down to $1 with the expectation it might go zero like oil did. Well, it didn't do that. But, when it was down here, one of the things I said I was sharing with someone is that, they were saying, oh, it looks like a good trade. It looks like it just has nowhere to go but up. I'm like, yeah, but you're putting value on it. I didn't say that, but you're putting value on it. You're saying that, oh, it's so cheap, it has to go up. Like, it's at $2 and $2 spot 219. It has to go up. That's what I mean by value. Don't put any value. You're agnostic. You don't care what the price is. You really don't care. You don't care what direction. The system that you trade, when I say the system you trade, I'm assuming, I'm talking to my members, right? But I say it in the vein that maybe you're not trading, obviously, my system. You're trading your own system. The system you trade, you're right, you don't care. You just want to be with momentum. You want to be with the bias of the market. And if momentum's moving up, that's why we don't use trend around here. Trend doesn't describe the market. Momentum describes the market because multiple times a day, momentum sometimes shifts. Well, we want to be with those shifts every time momentum shifts. It's stupid to call it a mini trend or a daily trend. It's just, it just doesn't make any sense. Momentum is the best way to think about it. All right. So I will not argue with the chart. What was I doing yesterday? 2 of my trades, I was arguing with the chart like an idiot. So, I will not argue with the chart. I will not argue with the chart. I will not argue with the chart. In my mind, all times is where is it going? What is the target? I would add to that. There's 2 questions that are probably better because you're going to already add that. You're going to already have that answered. Is typically when you're in a trade, the 2 questions you want to ask is what should happen and what shouldn't happen. Meaning, okay, if this trade's going to continue in this momentum area, market just opened. I don't trade the first 5 minutes, so we're not going to miss any trades. But we'll watch it and we'll look and see what happens. I don't predict. This one I don't really necessarily agree with anymore. I read the story of the chart and make probable assessments and targets. I mean, that's true, but I've kind of leaned more into the predictive nature of the system now. So, I made this probably 2 or 3 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. I welcome a fluid mind, allowing my opinion to change when the data dictates. Once again, this is written for me. So it's written in my language. It's written in a way that I'm trying to hack my mind. I detest and I'm disgusted by bad trades. I refuse to allow myself to make or hold bad trades. Obviously, I don't. So I need to make sure that I believe that. I detest, I'm disgusted by bad trades because 2 trades yesterday were bad trades and I wasn't utterly disgusted. So going forward, I detest them. I'm disgusted, but I refuse to allow myself to make and hold bad trades. So the number one thing I'm going to work on today, if I'm in a bad trade, I'm going to immediately correct it. I'm at ease with the level of risk that would place most people in panic attack. I mean, if I shared with my significant other some of my trades, well, she just doesn't want to know. So she still doesn't believe now that it's I mean, she knows it's real, but I am of clear mind as I move forward on this trading session. I am not allowing any emotions, problems, or situations to have any effect on my trading. Now, what I used to do here is I used to list out, maybe let's say that my wife left for the day and that, I don't know, we just had a mini argument, or like she was annoyed and then, she snapped at me and then I snapped at her, right? It happens, right? And then the dog, peed on my leg. I mean, it just never happened, but maybe Rex peed on my leg. That's a big alpha move, Rex, by the way. He's looking at me. He's like, what are you talking about me? That's a big alpha move, Rex. If you ever pee on my leg, well, I can just pick you up and just say, hey, that's the ultimate alpha move, because I can pick you up and basically carry you anywhere. I would list out the emotional things so that I've at least dealt with it and realize that, okay, that might be in the back of my mind. And then I am now fully and ready to begin my next trading session. And then there, I would really gut check myself and say, okay, are there anything that, is holding me back? Typically, there's not. I'd sign it, date it, and then I'd get on with the trading day, and that's what we're going to do next. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go and we're going to do our pre-market analysis. Now, I've already done it. Let's look at the charts. Okay, why is this? Yeah, this is awesome. I love when you change the time frame and every chart looks ugly then. It's just awesome. Great job, TradingView. All right, so we got a VWAP test right out the gate. We got to move up. Let's look at the actual NDX NQ. We are below the weekly open, so obviously it's trying to go for the weekly open. This is going to almost be like a similar day like yesterday. Except it gapped down a lot more. So it's still trying to go back for the weekly open. I don't know if it's going to get there. Maybe it's just going to do a gap fill here for this gap fill. But yeah, it definitely is trying to move up. So that's the trade that's probably on the table. Through the 4-chart perspective, there is a few challenges on the 4-chart perspective. So for those that are curious, that are new, number one, join Discord down below. That's one of the best ways to follow what we do here. But where are we at? Sorry about that. I have to adjust a few things. So here we go. Yeah, would have been nice to be part of that trade. But so we trade the 4-chart setup. So what you're seeing is a 5-minute chart with some of our indicators on the charts, and then we trade a combination of time and tick charts. It's really a superpower in trading once you realize the power of it. So when I say the 4-chart setup, basically I'm gonna do high probability level analysis using chart 4. So chart 4 is your market kind of structure. Capital can't hide in this chart. Our delta is positive so far in that chart, the cumulative delta. We've got an RDA check right around 102 on the NQ. And I'm just going to do the NQ. I've already done these other ones, just so you know. I've already done crude oil, I've already done gold, and I've already done NatGas. So I've already done that. But we'll do just NDX. So what we do is we start usually with the 4-day. Yeah, awesome. TradingView, look at that. Look at how awesome that is. I changed the time frame and you don't even show my chart. Awesome. Now, luckily, I have hotkeys. Sorry, I know I complain. I'm going to try to be more positive. Laugh about that. I'm going to try to be more positive with TradingView in the way that it annoys me every single day. Because I know it's probably annoying to hear me get annoyed by TradingView. But, okay, all I did is change the time frame. And, TradingView decided that I didn't want to see any of the price action. Okay, 4-day. Well, the 4-day, this is the pre-market idea that I shared earlier in the week. It's still relevant. Nothing's changed. Now, if we go to the daily, the next thing I do is I go to the daily. All right, well, it's pretty obvious. We've got a slow momentum check right here. And then we've got the RDA. Now, I usually have multi-time frame indicators, but meaning that this shows me when I'm on a lower time frame, or the daily, for instance. So if I were on the 5-minute, it would show me these daily time frames, but I don't have that on this chart just because those are private member indicators. One of the house rules of TradingView is that you can't share an idea. Now, they don't say anything about streams, as far as I can tell, but you don't share an idea with private member indicators. So any ideas you share the indicators have to be publicly visible. So when you join my training, one-time fee $9.97, you get access to all indicators, all training, private Discord channels, everything else. And so the ideas I guess I could do private ideas. I should do that. I can just do member private ideas. That's a good idea. All right. Sometimes I'm a little slow. All right. The fast momentum indicator is up here. All right. So we've identified our key levels. Look, I don't even need to spend more than 20 seconds on this chart to know exactly what I need to watch for on the daily. I mean, we've got the one other thing I might add to this chart is we've got a previous week open here, but I'd see it anyways. Whoa, look at that. That's a big line. Big dogs came out, roof. All right, let's make you a little bit smaller, man. We don't need you that big. Now, I would see that on the chart because I have that indicator. See that little line there? That's a previous week open. So that's our first reaction area if it were to get down. But it looks like it wants to impulse up and try to at least hit the weekly open. We do have an initial RSI signal possibly firing there. See that triangle? Day hasn't printed yet. So meaning it hasn't closed. So at this point in time, the last signal that's fired on the RSI is our green triangle right here. So we have, in addition to the chart telling us that we're biased long from a bias perspective, and we're momentum long because we're above the momentum indicators. Momentum indicators are long. We have a bias long. That's just what the market tells us. But the RSI provides an additional signal that the last signal that fired is a bias long signal, but we're getting an initial print of possibly maybe an RSI. Now, if that prints today, that maybe would lead that, okay, maybe we're going to be looking for an RDA check, or maybe we're going to look for, if it doesn't get down here, a slow momentum check tomorrow. That's the extent of the pre-market analysis we need to do. And usually this takes me about 30 seconds. Why? Because once you get adept at reading the system or using the indicators and reading the system, it is relatively easy to immediately see the momentum, immediately see what you should be focused on, and immediately focus on that. All right, so now on chart 4, we've got an RDA check here. I'll move to our chart. So that is not what I wanted, bastard. So we'll move to our chart there, and we will go, where are we going to go here? Yeah, it's not showing my entry. That's why. Give me 1 second.
Order filled.
Got filled on an order. Oh, down $100 already. What's that noise? All right. So that's an RDA check on chart 4. Give it a little bit of time to work out. But it is at least a fade trade on chart 2. And then, the challenge with this trade in a little bit aspectual. I'm going to get out
Order
of that.
rejected.
What? How could it be order? Oh, that's because I put it beyond the price it could actually be filled. Would be a reason why the order would be rejected. I get it, man. So if you look at the 60 chart 3, it could reach for that. So we're just going to put our stops tight on that. As we go around the round robin.
Stop filled.
See, we're going to get stopped out. We probably should be long, but I'm not going to fight chart 4 at this point in time. So while chart 2, well, really, I guess chart 1 and chart 2 are momentum. And so I kind of have to make a decision here. Do I want to fight chart 4? And so on the NQ, what we have here is the best thing is just get pickaxe on a pullback.
Stop filled.
So that was probably our opportunity to go long. So here's the trade on the table for the NQ. Is see if we get picked up maybe on a pullback. It's probably not going to pull back because it's aggressively trying to recapture the weekly open. Because the buyers feel like they're going to miss the next trade of the opportunity because, that's why I said I don't care. I don't know what the buyers are deciding. I have no problem. If they're going to move the market up, I want to be with them. I could care less what they're thinking. I could care less if they think that the Fed has their back still and the Fed's not going to destroy the market. And I could care less if people don't realize that what's happening to the dollar literally in real time, kind of every other week. But who cares? We trade charts. We don't care about that. I got to do a participation trade on that.
Order filled.
All right. So participation trade is usually limited lots, 1 or 2. Participate in the move, but you're chasing the trade often, and you don't want to get caught. But if you see a move in the market like there, you try to participate in the move. All right, these are all invalid. So cancel my bids. Now let's go around the charts. CL, our next level on CL. I'll be calling all the markets, so definitely if you are in. And I'll be doing this also. I'll be typing it as well for people in Discord. I'll be adding active trading. I'm in audio now in Discord. I apologize for not being in audio in the beginning. Hey, welcome. All feel free to ask questions. Charts, etc. Good to see you here, Nathan, and thanks for telling me that I did clear up the question. Okay, so we're going to go around the charts and we're going to identify our high probability trades. We're going to put some entries in the market. How I trade the system is I hate alerts, so I don't use alerts. What I do is I use 1 lot entries, and then if I get picked up on a 1 lot entry, then I say, okay, the chart has told me that it's worth me paying attention. Now on stream, because I'm streaming, I have this need, or I feel this need to maybe want to engage and entertain. So I'm watching the charts a lot more on stream than I am. Our next NQ trade, obviously, it's just so obvious. Friggin' NQ's been so obvious. Where is it going? It's going for the weekly open. It's trying to fill the gap. So, I should have traded at a greater size, but I didn't. So, but we're up about $400 on that trade. So, you really can't complain about $400, right? $360. Sorry. $360 isn't bad for 1 lot. Once again, participation trade. Missed the best entry. I did the trade, the quick trade on the RDA check on the actual chart too. Okay, let's set our key levels actually on the NQ. So I'll be sharing this in Discord as well. So it's going to I'm going to be delayed here on the stream because I'm going to be typing as well. So probably more information that you wanted to know. Futures trading, let's go. NQ, bam, upside. That is 220.
Stop filled.
You bastard. You took me out, man. I don't want to be taken out. How's a run-of-the-mill pullback. All right, we'll see if we can get picked back up on like an RDA check or something. That's our entries on that. I doubt we're going to get picked up, though, but, we might. Okay, upside level, immediate level. Chart for your control, 218. 218. I use round numbers. I could say 218 spot 50, but you know what? It's zones. By the way, I use shorthand. U means upside. D, well, it could mean multiple things. But D, in our case, means downside. These are strong levels. We always start with strong levels. So we always start with strong levels, and then you look at your weak levels. So you always start with strong levels. The strong level below is 030. These are all 13,000. So, you should be able to do the correlation, hopefully. CL, black gold, oil. Oil's looking interesting. We got a new level. So oil might be worthy of a trade in this area here. We'll join the bid.
Order filled.
And then we'll trade the level. The level is, right now, it's an initial level, but we do have a potential overshoot pattern. That's in the pattern library, members. Go watch it if you don't have a clue what the overshoot pattern is. It's a highly effective pattern to trade. Keep in mind it's a fade trade, so if you don't have your fade card, you do not trade that. But that's 77 spot 33. Look at that. I sound like a trader. Downside is 77 spot 33. I didn't used to say spot. But so when you hear me say something like, hey, why are you saying you sound like a trader? Like I said, I like to entertain myself. Maybe you're entertained. Are you not entertained? Oh, look at that. I caught that CL trade almost perfectly. Damn, son. As I talk like a 90s rapper. Upside on the CL is, am I losing my voice? I better not be. I got stuff to do. I got a lot of stuff to do. I'm excited about a lot of the things I'm working on. Upside is 78, well, let's say 78.17, but it's really 878 spot 12. Now there's the RDA up there. Now if it continues going up, it'll align with the RDA. 78 spot 12. Bam. So I'll share these out. Once again, NQ 218 spot. Looks like we're going to get picked up on one of the NQ entries.
Order filled.
We got picked up on two of
Stop
our NQ
filled.
entries. We got stopped out of one of our CLs. What's the P&L for today? Let's check the P&L. 2,700. Not a bad P&L for starting the day. Some of that's overnight, obviously. So let's look at the chart. Make sure that we're not getting too aggressive there. We do know, or we do have an idea. We think we have an idea where the NQ is going. I think it's trying to go for the weekly open. Did get a rejection there. Now there is the actual momentum check, so we do expect a reaction or rejection there. We'll look to maybe get in with additional 2 lots. I should be in 3 here, but it's at an RDA check on chart 2, the NQ. All right, now let's go to GC. We will cover GC, which is gold for those that don't know. Upside and downside, we'll identify our key levels, our key strong levels, and then what we'll do from there. By the way, just some feedback. I haven't heard it from anybody on TradingView. Should I stop streaming on TradingView? I haven't, on YouTube or anywhere else. Is it a value in me calling out the key levels? If you don't find any value in this, and you would prefer I just sit and look at the charts and trade, please tell me. So, without feedback, I don't know how to make this more valuable for you. I do this as for my members first. So obviously members, you need to share feedback like, this is what I'd like you to see do more of. But even if you're just joining us for the first time or joining me for the first time, feel free to share feedback. You are loud and clear on TradingView. Sweet. Thanks, Ninja Trader Shark. Thanks for joining us once again today. I appreciate you every single day, man. If you're a man, so don't get offended. Don't want to be canceled, son. I'm going to lean into talking like a 90s rapper. Yeah, boy. 808 kick drum. So we've got GC. I traded that, or I missed that trade earlier. I apologize. It was an awesome level trade. 2022, is the upside. Our downside on GC is obvious. We've got two downside levels, a one at 1992, which it's probably not going to get to. And then we've got I would consider it a weak, strong level. And for those that are, trade the system, you know what that means. If you don't, ask me in the den and I'll fully explain what a weak, strong level is, but that's in the pattern library. It's actually in the recap area. So if you don't know what a weak, strong level is, it's in the recap area. Looks like we're just going to be rolling with two NQ trades. So I'm going to put two trailing stops into that. And then we're going to get rid of these bids because they're invalid. When I say they're invalid, basically the trade is identified that it's probably not going to get there. And if it gets there, I'm probably going to want to reevaluate those positions. I mean, I'm probably not going to be picked up there. So I just cancel them in the market. But it is starting to stall a little bit more than I'd like to see here. So I'd like to see it move up a little bit. That CL trade is at an RDA check on chart 2, but I've already had an exit on that trade. So we'll see if we can keep those two lots in for maybe a bigger move there on CL. GC, the other level is, so what I'll do in the Discord is that we will put down week. All right. So upside is 2022. Down week is 2003.
Stop filled.
We got stopped out of our NQ trade. So we'll see on this pullback whether or not it's... Now, where is it at? Chart 3, look at that. It's at the RDA and it's at a momentum check plus. There's an alpha candle that it's trying to take out. That alpha candle level is 130. So, almost in some ways, well, we do believe that... my voice is going to start cracking like a teenager. We do believe that the weekly open is the target. Probably the better trade on the table is anything above 130 is a short. So anything above 130 is a short. Is the way I would almost read it, 135. So I put an entry in there in the market at 13,135 spot 25 for 5 lots. But I'm still in one lot there, so I'll get picked or either get taken out. Downside on GC is 1992, the ultimate downside. Now we will do NG, NatGas. NG is pretty cool. All right, there we go. Remove all drawings. NG, your upside level is... Now, once again, it's taken me a long time to do this. Not a long time. Yeah, relatively long time. This takes me I'd do this within 10 seconds. And I know, and plus I can see it without even drawing it. So I don't even need to draw it. That's how reliable these levels are. So NG upside is 2 spot 3, 8. No, 2 spot 3. Yeah, 2 spot 3, 8. And then downside, I can't read that because for some reason it's like in this weird area. Oh, it's the daily open. That's why.
Stop filled.
Yeah, got stopped out of the NQ. And we're going to get stopped out of CL too. Damn it. Should have took some profit there at the RDA. So this is a sell-off. I think I'm pretty convinced that this sell-off is a direct result of that RDA test on chart 3 of the NQ. So I think the guiding factor there needs to be chart 1. I mean, you can use chart 2, but I think you need to lean on a little bit. Chart 4. Chart 4 tells you that there's probably an opportunity right around there. And then obviously, if we're using straight up momentum, we know that there's an opportunity right here. Right there, right around 13,095 on the NQ. Am I going too fast for everybody? NG. Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor. NG. What the... Dude. Okay. Why did that chart move? Oh, I can't see the price. That's probably one of the reasons why.
Stop filled.
Upside. Stopped out of the CL trade. Did not maximize the profit on that trade. I'm actually relatively mad about that because is that the RDA check. Now we might get another opportunity to add to this trade on a double level check. So that was a fade trade. But given where things are on the daily, CL is testing the slow momentum and the RDA on the daily. Keep in mind, CL, you don't have an underline. So CL is CL. There is no underline. Damn it, that was an RDA check. We're going to do a participation trade on the
Order
NQ,
filled.
because it did an RDA check on chart 2. So we're going to do a participation trade. I'll put in a trailing stop in there. Should have just traded that, because our thesis is what? Our thesis that it's going to tag the weekly open. That's our thesis, that's where the index is going. 2.380, and then downside upside. Damn it. Boom. I can't read that, dude. 2.170. There we go. All right. That took longer than it usually does because I was narrating it as well as, sharing it. Usually I can scan it and do it relatively quickly. If you're new here, definitely feel free to ask questions. Feel free to participate. Ninja Trader said the high today so far. So FA is 50% of the Globex range, possible reversal area. 61.8 reversal or 61 reversal at 13.138, and then 13.105 spot 25 is 38.2 of Globex. Yeah. So we're still in one lot in CL. You can see here, over here. I know you can't see the trade because my sell stop is blocking it, but we're up roughly, I don't know, $130 on that. Not trading at any decent size yet. The decent sizes are where I identified the trades. So while we're pretty confident in our move that it's going to go take out the weekly open, obviously I missed. Yeah, target for the day 2036. I'd kind of agree with that too. I think the gold people are continuing to step up. That's what the chart's saying anyways. Oh, yeah. So someone shared an off topic, the discovery of the biggest and most powerful rocket ever built. SpaceX Starship launches in Texas before rapid unscheduled assembly during ascent. What? Oh, that's pretty badass. I mean, that's pretty sweet looking, isn't it? Gotta admit, that's pretty badass. I mean, I think it's badass.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3.
I've never seen a rocket launch. I'd like to see a rocket launch.
Stop filled.
I stopped out of the NQ trade. And I'm going to move that entry because it might sell off a little bit deeper. Okay, I don't care about the buildings. I want to see the rocket. There we go.
Chamber pressure is nominal.
That's pretty sweet. Okay, that's all. We're not a rocket launch channel. We're a trading channel. Damn it, Jim. I'm not an astronaut. I'm a trader. So thanks, Nathan, for the feedback.
Stop
Appreciate
filled.
it. Got stopped out of our CL trade. Where are we at on P&L wise? It's kind of annoying. 28.62. Gonna maybe get another level check opportunity. So we're gonna enter CL on an overshoot right around 77, where you can see it on the chart. Well, not this chart, obviously. We probably should actually trade that level. So we'll do like a, and we got to look for a possible stair step pattern to develop. So that might be the stair here. We might have a stair, but you want to see the stair on chart 4. I stopped watching on trading because every 5 minutes the stream cuts out and you have to refresh the page. Yeah, I don't know. I apologize about TradingView. I stream to 5 other places. So you want to know where else I stream? I stream to Telegram, Facebook. What's that? Twitch, where all the chicks are in easy mode. I stream to Twitter, and I stream to the YouTubes. So, damn it. NQ did it again. It did a momentum check
Order filled.
on the RDA, and I did not enter. Once again, guess I should just go with where it's going. We do have the hour closed. So once again, we have the 9 o'clock pivot. So the 9 o'clock pivot looks like it wants a 9 o'clock pivot up. Now I'm going to move my 5 lot entry up a little bit more because it is kind of aggressively getting there. And the next key area is kind of a little bit higher. So we're actually going to remove the sell because I don't believe in that sell anymore. Or the chart tells me not to believe in that. No, so for everybody, the best thing if you want no latency and updates like when I'm calling levels, Discord is the best. And then, everything else has a delay. And then TradingView seems to be, for whatever reason, I'll try a different setup in TradingView in the afternoon if I stream in the afternoon. I don't know. I've got a list of things that need to be knocked out. So I've got to decide whether or not I'm going to stream or I'm just going to knock things out. I'll still be trading. But, I will say I use a service to restream to multiple places, and they said that TradingView, I opened up a support request, worked with them for a little bit, and they said that TradingView, they have obscure services I've never heard of, and they said that TradingView is just difficult to connect with. That's what they said. That's the last message they shared with me. They said we'll work on it, but as far as the challenges they've had, they said it's not a priority, just because it's something that they can't overcome, and that they literally said something like that. They said it's something we can't overcome, and we connect to just about any service out there. Though then I asked them what about Rumble, and they didn't say anything. So RDA check on chart 2 again. So this is kind of, how many times do you want to go back to this well is the question. I'm going to get out of this trade because I think that we're on the wrong side of this trade based on where it's going. Well, we got one more opportunity. I said I would scale in down to this trade, down to the momentum check on chart 4. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yep, sorry about TradingView. I mean, look, I'm still trying to support it and stream there. So, but I'll try a different setup in the afternoon because maybe it's this particular setup that I'm using. So we'll beta test a different setup. Oh, little RDA overshoot. We're in 2 lots. I'd like to be a little bit larger size, but we're I feel like I'm kind of chasing this trade, but it's stalled at the momentum check on the index. So it might just fail here. That's the challenge. While we can clearly see where it wants to go up here, wants to try to fill the gap. We can look at the internals and see if that tells us anything. We're below the 0 line. So we should be skeptical of this move anyways. We're below the 0 line. So the internals are telling us, at least initially, that, hey, there's more capital flowing out of these things than's flowing in. Big tech, is above the VWAP. We do have a momentum check up here, which probably will align with actually the weekly check. So I think the trade on the table is trade up and then immediately reverse when we get that opportunity. What? How to determine? I don't know what that is. Here we go. Emergency broadcast system. All right, well, we're only in 2 lots NQ. I'm looking at GC as well. I see you there, GC. I see you. I don't think you can hide from me. Thanks for the feedback, Ninja Trader Shark. And thank Nathan as well about TradingView. I appreciate it. So thanks. So Tolman, I'll answer your question on NQ. Yeah. So, so your immediate target. So I didn't do the week levels. Week is still strong in this scenario based on where the 60 is, right? So I would say 140. You're spot on. 140, 150 to 160 is probably good, but I would start thinking about 140 where it's going right now. But you're probably spot on with that 140, 150 range. I think the key thing to watch is the NDX, right? Because the NDX is in control, and there it is. It's going. So I think it's waiting for it to tap the RDA, and probably I wouldn't be surprised if it comes up here and it doesn't do a full gap fill and it just simply utterly fails. So I'd be open to that scenario. And then let's look at GC. GC ripped the level. Daily, it broke the momentum. The next sell opportunity is right around 2030. Is that 2030? Am I reading that correctly? Yeah. 2030 spot 4. Otherwise, you should have been momentum long. I missed that trade. But part of it is that I was already long in NQ. And like, if they're moving in the same direction, I typically say, well, why would I trade the same direction? It's the same pattern. I mean, the NQ, for whatever reason, is patterning the same as the actual GC, as gold. We're up $740 in this trade. So we got our first test. We almost should just reverse here. Almost. But I want to see it overshoot it. That's why. I want to see the index overshoot it. So here's where we're at. We're up about 790. I'm going to take one off when it taps that level. It's not, that level's probably that level's right around here. I mean, it's tapping the level right now. So we're going to take, actually I have no reason to take one off. It hasn't lost the momentum yet. I'm just going to tighten my stop on one. I'm going to put it literally right at the momentum indicator. There we go. Let's look at the index, see if we can time this entry perfectly. So we've got right there the RDA and slow momentum tap, and then we've got the mix 200, which is telling us this move is relatively maybe weak.
Stop field.
We do have so we got stopped out of the NQ trade. Look at that. So the problem is that I look at CL and that trade, once again, what did it do? It created a stair-step pattern. Trade Room Alpha. For those that, when I say Trade Room Alpha, those are for members. That's in Discord. So when you join, you become part of quite a few private Discord channels. Trade Room Alpha is where basically I share, direct 4-chart setups, other things. I share basically Trade Room Alpha as a trade room for the alphas. So when I say Trade Room Alpha, that's just an announcement to members that, hey, check Trade Room Alpha. That is chart 4. And that is kind of a mini stair-step pattern in chart 4. Now, if we look at that same chart, let's just look at we're going to disclude the chart 1. So Trade Room Alpha. So you'll see there, like from the 60, chart 4, chart 2, you've kind of got a rolling narrative from a fade trade perspective. It's still a fade trade, so you still got to be mindful of that, right? So what's going to try to happen here, at least by the internals, is it's probably going to try to recapture the 0 line And then we've got our first momentum check here on big tech. I'm going to actually reverse this position, and we're going to start shorting this move.
Order filled.
So we're in one lot now, and then we're going to watch, and we're going to short up to if the index moves up there. Otherwise, we're going to wait for confirmation and might add, most likely add. Welcome, Intergalactic. That's a pretty cool name. Fernando as well. Welcome. Pretty cool name as well. All right. Well, now I'm regretting that I started my short. Not really, but
order filled.
Added another lot to that trade. Oh, I apologize. Let me show my trades. So far, we're up about $3,800 for the day, but this trade doesn't go in our favor. We might take a little bit of a loss if we don't, because we're starting early. There's no confirmation yet. We're starting this fade trade. This is a fade trade, so we're starting it early. But, we're starting at a reaction area, so it could react here. But we have no confirmation. So our next area to start is up here. That's our next area to even think about starting. I should be in 3 lots, so I can trade in thirds. So I'm not in 3 lots, but I figured I could add the third on confirmation. So there we go. Looks like GC is going to capture that level. CL RDA check there. I think you wait for probably the VWAP test. So on 2 lots, the NQ so far is rolling over a little bit. If we actually look at the NDX chart and see what we can see, obviously it's going to try to hold the weekly open. So, we just got to be patient to see if that's going to happen or not. This is a fade trade. Once I'm in, just reminding members, there's a fade trade. Or anybody. If you're trading my system, trying to adopt it, maybe you're not a member yet, then, fade trades are against momentum. If in maybe how you would typically term it, if you want to, is against the trend, but we don't use trend here. So the trend is up. Momentum is on all charts is momentum long. So yeah, is this a aggressive fade trade? Absolutely. But is it at a area where probably a high probability? Maybe not. All right. Get out.
Order filled.
Didn't move in direction. Took about $140 loss. Should have got out with the second that it held the friggin' momentum indicator. The problem is that ordinarily I would be trading this right now. I would be shorting this, but I'm being patient. And it's annoying the heck out of me because, as you can see, it's selling off exactly as I expected. All right, we got to do a participation.
Order
trade.
filled.
So
order filled. Order filled.
Yeah. Didn't have to take that $140 loss. That was me trying to be a good steward of trading the system, which is true though. I mean, it held up momentum, so I should have. Now the other thing is that my entry should have been 3 lots up above if I'm going to do the aggressive fade, because right now my entry's right at where the NDX is testing the weekly open. So what am I betting? I'm betting that, okay, well, the weekly open's going to fail. Well, that's kind of stupid. And obviously you can see here I'm paying for that trade right now, for chasing that trade.
Order filled.
So, because it's obviously, it's not obviously, but it's holding up. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe rethink this whole short situation here, possibly. But we'll add up to 170 at this point. Our position is our base is here, so there's no reason for us to actually add to the position here. We've got enough position in this range that if it's going to turn here, we do nothing by adding above. Now I'm in profit now a little bit, but who knows? It could be an overshoot. The problem is that we're fighting momentum, so like it's going to be frustrating if it doesn't just rip. So ideally what you want to see is you want to see one big rip down, and then okay, you got something to trade against, but we don't have that yet. So since we don't have that yet, then yeah, I agree. Ninja Trader says, like you, I like the short, but I just, don't like the gap wasn't filled with it. Yeah, but I mean, I kind of see, okay, now I need to take some profit because it's hitting
Order
the RDA.
filled.
So I took some profit on that because it's hitting the RDA and chart 2. Might continue to sell off. This is where we might see some rippage. But you know what? Both my stop losses are in profit. No, they're not. One of them, yeah, see that? The buyers aren't giving up yet because they're a little, I don't know what they want. I don't know what they're doing.
Stop
Who
filled.
cares what they're doing?
Stop filled.
Bastard, took me out. Guess I should have probably went long there at that RDA check. I don't like the long side here. There's too many competing narratives here for the long side, and the short side isn't a high probability trade yet. So it's you're kind of, I guess you could say you're kind of in a no trade zone unless you're trading extremes. That's kind of the answer. So the answer is, unless you're trading extremes, you're in a no trade zone. So if you're the type of person that chases trades, this area right here is a no trade zone. Wait for confirmation one way or another. So if you're a type of person that chases trades and get in the trade when it's 50 to 60% over, then number one, you're not using the system. Members, or if you're new and you're evaluating the system that you're seeing trade before you, the power of this system is it's predictive, and risk is built into the system because you're not able to trade at any area of the chart. You're trading at high probability reaction areas. So if you trade the system correctly, which sometimes you see me not doing, if you trade the system correctly, in a relatively short amount of time with multiple signals that you're wrong or that you probably should get out. The other thing is, if you trade the system with, I need to come up with a better name besides the magic scale in number, because that sounds too, I don't know, it sounds, if you trade with the recommended scale in number, the market gives you an opportunity 80% of the time to get out at break even, which is amazing. All right, see, now I wish I was at a more size because it is selling off. But the problem is I don't know how much sell-off we're going to get here.
Stop filled.
Stopped out. Once again, we're messing with the RDA there. So I just don't, I'm with you there, Ninja Trader Shark. Okay, look, we didn't get a gap fill here. And that's what it looks like it wants to do. So let's just do a participation trade.
Order filled.
Missed the best entry there, so we're not going to argue with it. How many times does it need to tap the RDA before we say, hey, okay, let me trade momentum? So I'm even chasing this trade a little bit. But once again, what did it do? Predictive nature of the system. Went back, did a momentum check, It's going to try to now close above the weekly. It's going to probably have a reaction up of the RDA. And then obviously we're looking for a gap fill. Real simple thing we could do. Take the total gap. Where's the gap? Total gap. Beat 50. We're right at 75. You could even go from here to here and say, okay, here's the next failure point, which aligns with our mix 200. 13072 is our next failure point. Damn it. Decide to move or not, dude. Like either rip up or not. Well, we got one more RDA check possibly on the board. On chart 2. So I don't need this anymore. What the hell? Why is this chart so ugly? Fucking hate trading view. Is it trading view or is it me?
Order filled.
Okay. I don't want to be in this long trade. I really don't. But yeah. I don't know. It feels like it's going to sell off. So like, but it's held up every RDA check here.
Order filled.
I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't have patience to stay in the trade right now. There it is. I didn't have to take that loss, but you know, I'm going to take my own advice and kind of say I'm in a no trade zone here until I get a very clear signal. We're up about 38.87 so far. Which is not bad for the lot sizes that we're trading. We're trading in what, 2 or 3 lots here? We're not really trading. I'm not trading any size. The problem is you look back on a day like today and you'll say, well, it was obvious that I should have been momentum long. But it's not obvious right now what we should be because there's a literal fight right now at the weekly open. Now, if it loses momentum here, then we're probably going to, okay, well, this is the problem. I go short here. Let's look at the internals. See if there's any clue there. Yeah, all right. I think we got to take some risk here and short this move.
Order filled. Order filled.
I could be completely wrong here, though, because it's just doing an RDA check. But, yeah, so it might be doing a momentum check right there and trying to hold momentum and come back and do the weekly open check. But we'll see. Momentum shifted on chart 2, so that's kind of why I took that trade. But this is aggressive fading, so you know I'm not gonna, yeah, fuck you, bastard. Held the RDA. I guess I should have just trusted the RDA.
Order filled.
Bastard. All right, just churning the account. There's no reason to be fucking trading when you don't have a conviction. I have no conviction right now on this move. So I stop trading until I have friggin' conviction. Otherwise, I'm just going to burn through 200 here, 100 here. That's a stupid way to trade. Should have been long there at the RDA. Just trust the RDA and say, you know what? 2 solid closes below the RDA, and I'm out. For whatever reason, people, or at least, well, actually it's not. For whatever reason, people are buying the market. Well, they're not, though. That's the thing. There's a perception that people are buying the market. For whatever reason. Like, I don't care. That's what I'm trying, you know, what I'm like, I don't care to figure out what these yahoos are doing. I just want to be with them. They're making it very difficult for me to be with them right now. So whatever direction they want to move the market, they're making it very difficult for me to have conviction to go with them in either direction. So I'm going to let them figure out what the hell they want to do. And then when they reveal to me what the hell they want to do, then I'll jump on board. So right now, we're kind of in an indecisive. I'm not even trying to say that word if I can't say it 3 times in a row. All right. CL is possibly another opportunity on the long side. So we'll do one lot here. We'll do one lot. Yeah, one lot here. Come on. Don't make me miss the trade.
Order filled.
There we go. Put in a trailing stop. Put in another trailing stop.
Order filled.
Is that a level check?
Stop filled.
All right, I've stopped out of that GC trade. Let's join the
Order
MQ
filled.
trade because it seems like it's going to hold the RDA again.
Order filled.
So it might sell off here, but we'll give it a little bit of room. But I don't know how many times it can hold the RDA before I either believe it or don't.
Order filled.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's the problem. It's revealing now that it doesn't want to hold it.
Stop filled.
Yeah. All right.
Order filled.
Should have shorted that. Knew I should have shorted that. Okay.
Order filled.
I think we got to believe that tap unless
Order
it's going to get
filled.
really aggressive here.
Order filled.
I've got to trade this somewhat aggressive.
Order filled.
Otherwise,
Order filled. Order filled.
I mean, it could hold. I mean, it's holding momentum though. That's the only challenge. It's pretty volatile too. Time is it? I can't read that. Oh, it's 9:30. The opening range just closed. That's why. Okay, so the opening range is deciding to open range. All right. So the opening range is kind of deciding does it want to hold or not. Ooh. All right. Well, we should probably decide, do we reverse here or do we stay in this trade? Fuck you.
Order filled.
All right. Sorry for the swearing. Just pissed off at that I'm actually on the wrong side of that trade. Little bastard. You know what? It could sell off just as easily here. I really think that the long side is the right side here, though. Yeah. Freaking asshole. I need to get out.
Order filled.
Too volatile. I think we burned through some P&L there, so I'm a little pissed. We did. All right. I want to get aggressive. That's the problem. But I don't have the signal yet. So we're just going to sit on it. Yeah, long is right. Ordinarily, I would have stuck with that trade a little bit longer. I'm pissed that I didn't stick with that trade a little longer because actually it is what it is. Whatever. A little bit bad trading there for about 5 minutes. That's why I stopped. There's no predicted. I mean, right now the short is probably the trade on the table. So that's the trade on the table. But until we get a definitive answer, like, it's the middle of a range. The room, though, if it does sell off, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what the room is. And chart 4 doesn't really give us, I mean, I guess there's a little bit of room. Just the buyers have stepped up too much here. So there's room to maybe possibly 310. Possibly. Or sorry, 110. I don't know why I said 310. There's room to down to 110 if it does sell off. It does rip up. I mean, we're still looking at the same thing. We're still looking at the same area, which is up here. Total gap fill. Yeah, should have just friggin' stuck with that 9-lot trade. I didn't have conviction either way, though. So it's like, that's why I got out. If you don't have conviction, it's usually probably good not to friggin' trade. Especially when it kept punishing me for chasing the trade and then not sticking with it. Keep going. Knew I should have, like.
Order filled.
RDA check, so I'm taking that trade. Probably going to continue to rip up, but I'm planning to scale in up higher. So, but it's an RDA check on the index. Could be a full gap fill. So obviously up to 0.86. That's something to keep in mind. Could be a full gap fill. Let's look at the internals. Damn it, Mike, get out of my way. Zero line. Well, the question is it going to do... Okay, well, there it is. I mean, that's a decent sell-off. Ah, NQ. Or not NQ, CL. Damn it, NQ. You bastard. All right, I'm gonna take one off.
Order filled.
Put some trailing stops in because it's at a reaction area. It could just rip up just as much as it rips down. We're up about $500, but it doesn't matter. We were up $2,800, and I burned through P&L doing stupid trades. So this is just making back what I should already had in my pocket. Yeah, Tolman on, quickly correcting mistakes. Like I said today, I mean, I think the mindset aspect of what I did, as much as like I rushed through it, like I think I need to get back to doing that. I need to create a custom mindset of the things I'm working on that are unique to me and not, I mean, some of that is generalized. So I created some generalized stuff for examples, but I need to create a very specific one that I probably wouldn't, well, I guess I would share. It's not like yeah, I saw that sell off and I was like, you know what? I need to get aggressive here. And I got aggressive with 3 lots. Let's look at the other trades on the table. Okay, why is this all ugly? I tested a new indicator and it makes my charts ugly. So, like, I don't want an ugly chart. I already have enough. I don't need your indicator making my chart ugly. I'm testing an initial balance indicator. We're working on an initial balance indicator. I'm going to call it opening range. Because initial balance, now I know I'm contrary to the market. I get it. But I think initial balance as the first 30 minutes and then opening range as the first 60. I'm not trying to be contrary to the whole market. I just, like, a pivot happens at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock market time. You see it time and time again. So I like to divide the market into the various pivots and psychological changes that the market has. The market has two psychological changes. Number one, it has the first 3 minutes that gives you clues. I haven't done a video on this, but I'll do a video on this. How do I do this initial balance color? What is this?
Stop
I
field.
don't want it at all. Which chart did I do that on? Probably should know what chart I did that on. I think I did it on this chart, yeah. Why is it coloring that background? I don't want that background color, dude. Got knocked out on one NQ trade. Gosh, should have added there. Looking for where we want to potentially re-enter. I think the 110, like I said, where we have room. I should have got aggressive there. Knew I should have got aggressive. All the signals were pointing to a sell-off. All the signals were pointing to it. Instead, I traded like a little. If I was in the Warrior forum, maybe I will. I don't know the name of that dude. By the way, Alpha members, we have a Warrior forum where basically if I've talked to you, you know, DM wise, we've talked, you can ask to join, but I think we'd be canceled on some of the things that we probably will eventually start discussing there, or at least just share. So I'm ready for it though. You know, hey, if they want to cancel me, I guess, you know, the cancel brigade will come after me. All right, come after the dog. 2,500, we're up 560 on this trade. I don't see any other trades on the table that are high probability trades. We got an opening range low test on the actual CL. No, not CL, sorry, I apologize. CL's selling off as well. And then we've got NQ selling off. And then we've got gold selling off. And then we've got NG moving up. So we missed the NG trade, but I didn't like that anyways. So I discounted it. I didn't announce it, so I apologize for not announcing it. Look at that. It's continued to sell off. So we're still waiting for that 110. We'll wait for an overshoot of 110 and then 107 or so. Then we'll maybe reverse that position and look for the move up. But what do we see there? Right around 110, we see a level. We see the OR 50, and then we see various indicators. You got it. Like, okay. If I were trading, let's say that I were trading the Rexdog system. If I were trading the Rexdog system and I saw an alignment of the slow momentum indicator, the RDA, the VWAP, and the 50% OR, I would think, wow, that's a pretty amazing alignment of quite a few indicators that we use within the system. There probably is going to be a reactionary there. So I might trade on the short side or the long side. I might maybe plan to scale in all the way down to maybe 0.94. Possibly is what I would plan to, but I'd start my position maybe right around 103, possibly. Once again, I know nothing about trading. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an accountant. I don't play an attorney on TV, so I know nothing about the law. That was an opportunity to add to the short there. We got an opportunity to add to the short. I did not take it. I probably should have took it because I think we've got an alpha. So if I get taken out, I'll probably add to the short on an overshoot of momentum and chart 2. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're fitting to do. Otherwise, we're not going to get too aggressive with it because the buyers have stepped up, but they might have got slapped where they're like rethinking their life now right now. They might be wondering, what the hell am I doing with my life? Why am I buying this market? Oh, thanks, Ninja Trader. I was looking at that too. I was going to just say that, but you know, thank you for bringing it up. GC testing levels too. So I think with GC, I think the question on that You know, it's testing the levels, but I think the better level test for me is right around 2014 spot 3. So we'll go long around 2014 spot 3 and a little bit higher. So that's what we'll look for there. So on GC, we're right at 214 spot 9 and 214 spot 3. That's chart 4. That's a RDA and slow momentum check. And then it's also correlating with key weak level, and then it's correlating with levels on chart 2. So if that would be I guess you would call it a triple level test. That'd be a triple level test in chart 2. It'd be the first weak level test in chart 4. Y'all tracking this, members? Like, Cher, are you tracking this? Is the way I'm calling the market
Stop filled.
today? You tracking it? And I'm sharing in Trade Room Alpha as well. So while I'll do this, I'll be, I kind of journal. The other thing I did, just so everybody knows, is I kind of journaled my, I wasn't really happy with the stream yesterday. I just didn't think I provided the right
Order filled.
value and the right attitude.
Order filled.
So I journaled on the stream as well. I take what I do here just as seriously as I do trading. I aim to excel at becoming at being a teacher of trading, someone that has a system that people are adopting. So I aim to excel at basically being the most effective teacher and communicator I can, and being a good representation,
Order filled.
a good ambassador of the trade system. Now, I am aggressively shorting this move, so basically, not aggressively. I mean, aggressively would be more, but we lost momentum there. So, I'll call the bluff on the buyers here at this point in time, but at some point in time, I'm probably going to have to say, well, they're right. So,
Order filled.
but we'll call the bluff. Could be an overshoot of the RDA and the momentum indicator, but it's kind of volatile, so you kind of need to be a little careful here. The volatility is definitely picking up, so this is something you just don't want to be on the wrong side of. So just be mindful of the volatility if you're shorting this move. I mean, the challenge is that could have been just an overshoot on actually chart 4, and then chart 4 might hold up on the RDA because now it recaptured the RDA. The 5 is basically, well, that 5 just recaptured momentum, so it might be just an overshoot of momentum, and it might not even come down and do the 50% OR check. So, I started that short early.
Order filled. Order filled.
But we'll see. There we go. Getting an opportunity to get out. Now I need to make a decision. Do I get out or not? I'm going to stay in because I'm looking at it as an overshoot. So I'm targeting, the first take profit area is 119 at this point in time. If it does sell off, which it didn't, obviously held momentum. And then the next area is the what is that? 110 or so. Yeah. Buyers are stepping up again. I don't know. I think I maybe need to reverse that. Yeah. Gosh, can't see anything. It's going for the weekly open
Order
again.
filled.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I got too aggressive on the short. I think we're wrong here. Possibly. We won't know yet.
Order filled.
We have to actually wait. That's the problem. We have to wait. To wait for this next move, this next impulse. Okay, the market's giving me an opportunity to get out. Do I get out? I'm in profit. Okay, well, it's continued to sell off. Okay, well, there we go. I think we get out.
Order filled.
Got out at profit. It's probably going to continue to sell off, but it's pretty volatile in this area, so I think we need to just, the entry wasn't great. Did get out at profit. What's my P&L? We're up to 38.45, back where we were. Friggin' A. don't know yet if it's going to sell off, but you know, it did lose momentum there. So
Order
we're going to do
filled.
just one lot, and then we're going to either get picked up here, and then the same thing's going to happen, or it's not. But at this point, you know, the buyers are still stepping up in some level or degree. We've got 12 minutes in this 60-minute candle. So, you know, I guess the way to look at it is, screw you, little bitch.
Order filled.
Is that I got out of that trade. I missed this. I was going to do the CL entry, but I missed that. But we're at challenge on CL is at the next level here. You know, the best trade that exists is a ways away, and ideally you'd want to trade up to that trade. But, you know, and I'll do that. I'll see if we can get picked up here. So I got 2 entries on CL, 77 spot 49 and 77 spot 42. Okay, there we go. All right, so let me get Jules. What the? Freaking, dude. You know, I don't know why. It seems like technology has got less and less intuitive. And I know it's not me, because I'm clicking on something that actually should open up, and it's Google. You know, this minimalistic.
Order filled.
Okay, we got picked up on the CL trade, and then we're still waiting to get picked up possibly on this GC trade down below. RDA check overshoot, and then, you know, the buyers seem like they want to buy
Order
the
filled.
NQ. So you know what? We'll
Order
see if we can
filled.
go with you maybe a little bit. You little bastard. So we're gonna do the level check again, all the way down on CL. Let's look at the one thing that does annoy me about streaming is I almost need to just stream on my 6 monitor machine, because 3 is like, I can't have this chart up that I always want to see. So I always want to see this chart if I'm trading the NQ. And like when I'm streaming, I have obviously the chart that you see, so you can see my trades, my entries. Well, you know, it's just kind of annoying. Okay, this indicator has to go, because this indicator, while cool, what I'm doing, I'm testing various opening range indicators, because we're going to create an opening range indicator. I'm testing the various ones to kind of see, like, okay, how do they work? What's the benefit of them? Do we even need to create one? Do I just recommend one? Well, I don't like to recommend one, because usually, you know, it doesn't follow the philosophy of what we teach. Okay, I'm gonna need to get out of this.
Order filled.
Stupid CL position went against me. I didn't want it to, you little bastard. What the hell? There we go.
Order filled.
I reversed that quickly for a quick scalp. Up about $3,100. Slow build. Did a little bit negative trading there, in my mind. Well, there was an area there for about 5 minutes where I wasn't trading with conviction. It's the worst time to trade. If you're new here, you want to join Discord down below. If you're wondering what system I'm trading the one of the most highly effective trade systems ever developed on the planet, the Rex Dog trade system. Does your foundation indicator work on Sierra charts too? Okay, I'm going to announce this here, okay? I was going to do a formal video, but I just can't wait anymore, okay? So, and there's positive news and there's non-positive news, okay? So, but I'll do a formal announcement, but I'm going to announce it here. I'm moving the Sierra charts. I will and there's various reasons, and I'll fully explain this. Okay. Yes, we have our indicators on Sierra charts. Now here's
Stop
the thing.
field.
I didn't want to announce this until officially doing it, but I've entered a exclusive relationship with a developer. I could have just hired on a developer, but well, I'll go into this with members and maybe a Q&A or something, right? Entered an exclusive relationship with a developer for Sierra charts because there's opportunity with Sierra charts to do amazingly cool things. Now, I want for members that if you're listening to me and anybody that's thinking about joining the system and everything else, if you don't know Sierra charts, I do not want you to get the learning curve, and anybody that uses Sierra charts, back me up on this, please. The learning curve for Sierra charts is probably vast comparatively to Trade08. So if you're a new trader and you don't have edge and you haven't developed, we got picked up on the GC trades, and you haven't developed or you haven't successfully been trading the system, make money on Trade08 first. Don't, because you do not want to be learning how to use a very complicated but powerful trade platform that is oftentimes frustrating, but it's, and learning to trade a system effectively at the same time. You don't want to be doing both. So here's your path, okay? And I want you to keep this in mind. If you haven't made a substantial amount of income trading, you start with Trade08 because you can make a substantial amount of income or substantial amount of profit. When you make a substantial amount of profit, you're going to realize that Trade08 is cool, but then it's lacking some things that you actually want, like really cool badass features, like really cool features that a trader would want. Because for whatever reason, these tools don't actually, I mean, Sierra chart is so customizable, you can maybe customize it to what would be kind of really cool, okay? So yes, the answer to your question is yes. Now here's the thing. I've always said that it's a one-time fee. You get everything. And I abhor subscriptions. I hate them. I'm not going to be party to
Order
subscriptions.
filled.
I'm just not going to be party to it if I can help it. So here's the thing. For the training, it's $9.97. And then we're going to have different things with Sierra charts. The base at this point in time, if you join the training and you want the Sierra charts chart book for the RexDog trading system, it's $197 one-time fee. $197 at this point in time. There's other things when I lay out the roadmap of where we'd like to go with Sierra charts. We'll put it this way. I'm just going to share this with members. I don't want members, listen to me. Traders that are new, listen to me, okay? As far as listen to me and follow my advice. Okay, I can't say that. Just listen to me. Do not get shiny object syndrome, okay? You don't need to, if you're a new trader and you're trying to figure out the system, you do not increase your cost by buying a system to trade with that I think on a 6-month basis, the lowest you can get it down to is $186 for 6 months, I think. And then fees. With Trade08, you get everything you need to trade the 4-chart setup, okay? And make enough there to then transfer over to Sierra charts. That's the path. Because when we start releasing some of the Sierra chart stuff, you're going to be saying, yep, okay, I want that. Where I'd like to go with Sierra charts, put it this way. If I was streaming with what I want with Sierra charts, everybody watching now would say, how do I get that? I can't guarantee it. I'm highly confident that if the roadmap that I've outlined for Sierra Chart existed right now, and you saw me executing with it, pretty much 90% of the people watching me right now would say, I want that. Whatever you have, whatever you're doing there, I want that. Okay? Now, so I'm tremendously upset that there is an additional cost for Sierra Charts. Okay? It's $197. So let's say that you're not a member now and that you want to become a member, and then you join the system. It's $997, one-time fee. That includes indicators on TradingView, and we're working on TradeOvate for porting over some of the more, like for instance, I want the RSI indicator on TradeOvate, so we're working on that. But then Sierra Charts, it would be a $197 one-time fee, updated chart book. So anything we add, you'd get updated chart books for the Rexdog trade system. That would be like a basic level. And then we might have maybe one or two different chart books. Now with that chart book, you can add all the different symbols, right? So it's a chart book. It has the 4 charts set up, already set up, all the indicators. You load that chart book, you're basically ready to trade. Well, I mean, if you know Sierra Charts, you're not, well, you're ready to trade, but you got to figure out like your brackets and everything else, But if you know Sierra Charts, you're already there, right? So you get a chart book. And then, of course, there's updating with that. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So thanks, Lazy Trader. I contacted a Canadian attorney 2 days ago. See, like, let me ask. Okay. How do I do this without sounding like a douche? I'm trying to okay, let me ask you this. How many people can you guys share me? Do you watch other streamers? Are there other people that you watch? Are there other YouTubers that you watch? And are there other YouTubers that have memberships and that have training and everything else? Are there other people that you watch? Okay. And I just, someone respond, just say, yeah, there's other people I watch. I know, because I'm sure you do, right? Because I just want to ask this question. I just want to because I want to give you a perspective on, I'm not trying to say that I'm different. I just want to give you a perspective on kind of, well, I'll just share it. Why am I even asking? Okay, we have members in Canada that are having a hard time getting a broker that they can trade futures with. And TradeOvate doesn't take it, but the Lazy Trader on YouTube said, is that someone called GFF Brokers, who charge $99 per month for accessing NinjaTrader but no TradeOvate. Now, on the latest version of NinjaTrader, our indicators are there. So our indicators are there. Now, where are we at? So we're up about $100 on the GC trade, and then the NQ trade, we didn't get picked up on the sell, so we're going to sell that.
Order filled.
And then we're going to sell up to that level. So we're in one lot there, and then we'll do another sell here. We'll see if we get picked up. So we're down on that gold trade. So we're really on the bubble on that gold trade. Let's look at this here. That gold trade is really on the bubble. We almost just need to give it room. I don't know. It's hard to say because it really could just sell off. Because chart 2 is, we'll just give it room. I'm just going to give it room. All right, that's my stops. Those are my stops. We're just going to give it room. I mean, it's at the weekly open, so it's either going to hold the weekly open or not. And then it's got a VWAP test there. So, maybe it's going to come down and test the VWAP. So I think that, probably one of the things we probably need to consider is maybe an entry around 2013. Well, we're already there. Yeah. I don't know. Well, let's just give it room. And then we're not going to give this NQ much room. We're just going to put a trailing stop in there. So we're up about $100 in the NQ. Okay, so here's how I'm different. I just want to share this, okay? So, here's the difference between me and maybe other people. Look, I charge. Let me just share the perspective. I charge $9.97 one-time fee. Okay, I don't have a subscription. I don't do anything like that, right? But there's various members that have had problems with finding a broker to trade futures in Canada. So I did research as much as I could do, okay, to try to see if I could provide maybe a direction, okay? But I couldn't find anything because I'm not a Canadian, right? So what did I do? I called a Canadian attorney that works in the financial field and had a consultation with them, and then asked them, like, how much would it cost to research? What are the options for a Canadian that wants to trade the CME and the futures? Like, what is the roadmap potentially for a Canadian that wants to do this? Like, I don't need to do that. Like, no one asked me to do it, and I'm not trying to tout my own horn. I'm just saying that, like, I like to find solutions, and then I just don't like non-solutions, and like I'm more like to act than basically, oh, I don't know, just kind of let's wing it. Well, if I don't know, I need to talk to a professional, right? I did recommend to the people, like, that's probably what you should do. Talk to a financial accountant and talk to an attorney and see what is possible for you to be able to do this. Is there various ways? Maybe if you were in a business entity, maybe you could do this easier. Maybe they don't allow individuals, but if you're a certain type of business entity, they allow this. So, like, I didn't pay for the attorney, obviously, because I haven't got the quote back yet. Because he genuinely wanted to know too. So it was kind of like one of the things where, he said, like, I'm kind of interested too. That's kind of like, so I just share that from the perspective of, like, there's a couple Canadian people that are members, and like, so like I couldn't find the solution. So I said, okay, how do I find the solution? I should have sold this a little bit more, but we're right at momentum. So that's why I'm not selling it. So we're almost at a momentum check there in the 5. Oh, look at that gold. So I think gold we need to actually add to that position.
Order filled.
So we'll move our stop down. Oh, we can't do that here in TradingView. We can't do that on TradingView. We have to do it on friggin' here. We can trade on TradingView, but we can't move anything. Oddly. This gold trade actually might, if it doesn't go in our favor quickly, it might be one of those frustrating trades. Because what are we down? We're down roughly $400 on that. But we're going with kind of the first recent. Oh, we got a level here. We really got to trade down to here, unfortunately. That's our next trade zone. We got to, so by the way, the 60-minute is the control, and then also we're doing a level check on chart 4. So
order filled.
That's what we're trading on GC there. The other thing with GC is you got to, like, play the ranges, and you've got to, like,
order
sometimes
filled.
give it time. But, right now it's going
order filled.
And then we've got another level check right here. It's another level check right here. So I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything like that. I'm just saying that, and Lazy Trader said the best bet would be IBKR. But doesn't IBKR have, IBKR with Sierra. But doesn't IBKR have high margin rates? I thought IBKR had high margin rates. Maybe I don't know. All right, NQ's hitting that range. I didn't trade down to that. It's hitting that 110. Spot on that move, but I didn't trade down to that. So we're going to start buying
order
the NQ.
filled.
I might get an opportunity to get out of this gold trade. I mean, the thing
order
is,
filled.
The problem with that gold trade is that it's really on the bubble of, like, deciding, does it want to stay momentum long? And I might look back and say, I should have stayed with that trade, but Where's that right now? It's not really giving us a clear signal. NQ's continue to sell off, so it's not going to use that level. Damn. Look at that. Okay, well now it's just a matter of, is it a deeper sell-off?
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
We're trading the RDA there.
Order
Oh,
filled.
you know what? We had some other news, don't we? That's right. That didn't pop up. How come that didn't alert me? Boom. 10 a.m. That's already old.
Order filled.
This GC trade is gonna make me get out.
Order filled.
So, burning through my P&L. Fuck you. Pissed me off. It's probably gonna move, but you know, I'm in the NQ trade on 7 lots, and it's kind of a fade, so we'll see. I'm trading that on basically the RDA there, and then the RDA holding up. But we'll see. We got our first level here, potentially. Overshoot of that level pretty hard. The question is it going to remain momentum short and bias short on chart 2? That's kind of the question on this trade. Is it going to? I'm just going to get out.
Order filled.
Just make $700 there. And then we'll do an RDA check on the short at 114 spot 75 and 117. And then it might not get there. So, you know, we're going to short.
Order filled.
It's kind of in a weird area though. You know, the buyers have like really protected the downside. But, you know, I guess if you want to try to figure it out, what I mean by that is like maybe just a lot of stops are getting hit. Jeez. Well, so one ES requires 8.5K of USD. Oh, yeah. There's got to be a better solution in Canada. So, you know, like I said, I didn't have to call an attorney. I didn't have to go through, you know, like, and I'm just saying, like, I don't know many other, like, people out there that are streaming or doing what I do that basically in their membership, they see a problem, and instead of just saying, okay, you guys are kind of on your own, they actively try to solve, they actively see if they can find a solution towards it. Like, it's just how I operate. So I'm just sharing that from a perspective of, so, you know, I did announce, I'll officially announce the Sierra chart stuff, but, you know, I know how it is. Basically, you see someone that you watch, or you see me start using Sierra charts more and more, and you're going to be wondering, okay, well, what am I missing out on? Well, obviously, if you're in Canada, there's got to be a better solution than having to tie up $8,500 to trade one ES contract. That's just not acceptable. Obviously, it's acceptable in Canada for them, but I mean, here's what I would like if I was a Canadian. What I would be doing is I would be looking at what are the entity opportunities, and what do I need to go through, or what do I need to, because keep in mind, I'm not looking at trading as a hobby for you. Trading's not a hobby for me. It's my livelihood. So if I was a Canadian, I'd be saying, okay, you know, yeah, you know, I mean, one of the best trips I ever took was like, we started in Mackinac Island, in Michigan, and then from Mackinac Island we just drove up north to Canada, and I think we started in Toronto. I think we spent 3 weeks just driving through Canada, and yeah, we spent 2 or 3 days in Toronto, Montreal, all the way to Quebec City. But we stopped at kind of little, just like, you know, kind of things in between. You know, we didn't drive more than 6 hours a day to get to the next spot. And we just kind of drove through Canada. So I guess as a visitor, it's, I mean, it kind of felt like a lot of times it just felt like a version of the United States, just off a little. So it felt like we were in the US, but then it felt a little off. But I mean, it was one of the best, well, I mean, we typically take 24 days is like a little too long, I think, for people on vacation together. A driving trip, that's way too much, unless you plan something. This is my philosophy. But if you're going to like somewhere, like if you're in the US and you go to Europe, or you're in Europe and you go to the United States or something, 24 days is kind of like that perfect amount, where if you're traveling with like 3 or 4 people, you start to get homesick a little bit. And then, unless you're used to like staying over in Europe for like the summer or something, right? Then you're kind of used to that. But like if you like to take 2 or 3 trips, anywhere from like 15 days to like 24 days a year, I noticed around that 21 day mark, you start to kind of get a little sick of, or you need a little break from each other. And then you're kind of a little homesick too, because you're kind of like, okay, this is, even if you're in an Airbnb or something, you're like, kind of like, just like, kind of miss home a little bit. So, but the Canadian trip we took was really great. But yeah, if I was a Canadian, what I would be doing is, I would be saying, okay, like, is there an entity opportunity here? I mean, if I was an entity, for instance, so I'm looking to short the NQ. We're at an RDA check in chart 2, and then we're at a momentum check in chart 4. So we're looking to short that move, but the volatility's been a little bit aggressive, so we don't want to be too aggressive. And that is an RDA check, so that RDA check is holding up. So I should have held that trade probably for a little bit longer, but that first check is the best. It did overshoot quite a bit, but did it overshoot within our magical number? 102. Yeah, overshoot. Yeah, no, close. Yeah, close. It overshot within our magical number. And what did I say? You scale in properly at the areas that the Rec stock trade system tells you. The market's going to give you one opportunity to break even, take a little bit of a loss. Whoa, look at that volatility. We do see some pickup there. Was that? All right, now you need to figure out how you trade that. Do you short that, or do you think that the long side is going to hold up there? I think it's a short side trade.
Order filled.
And then you trade the RDA. But don't get too aggressive yet, because we don't know. But the market gave you an opportunity there to get out at break even.
Order filled.
Let's look at the other charts. Yeah, I'm glad I got out of that GC trade, because that obviously was not the right direction. And then, okay, I need to remove this indicator, because I can't read my friggin' chart, dude. So I tested you, and you didn't work. I mean, I need to just figure out how I customize you. So I don't really need to remove you. I just need to figure out how I customize you so that you don't paint this ugly color all over my chart. I have enough ugly colors all over my chart. I don't need your ugly color. Okay, NatGas is at the weekly open. So it's already retested. I think we do a NatGas trade.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
And then put 3 trailing stops in there and see how that goes. And then we're short on the NQ, at least starting a short position, but we're a little early. But, we're expecting chart 4 to fail. The momentum check did hold up on the 60, so that's something to keep in mind. And then obviously, what are we doing here? We're fighting the RDA. So we're fighting the RDA on the 5. So that's why, I kind of started that position early. And then that's why I'm like not adding to the position until the extremes here. Just because we started that. What the hell, NatGas? We started that position a little early.
Order filled.
I think we need to start at the low there on NatGas. And then here. Basically, my entries on NQ are extreme bands. That's where my entries are. So, and then, you know, with most of your scale-ins, you really don't want your best scale-ins, your best trades on scale-ins. You're not getting picked up on all your entries. Those are the best entries on scale-ins. So, you know, keep that in mind if you're scaling into trades. How you really refine, or how you really figure out whether or not you're properly scaling in typically is that what are your so 497, yeah, so I'll answer your question, AZJ. Yeah, so the thing with NG is that, you know, NG is a ticker where you really have to like be patient oftentimes for the moves. It doesn't like, so it stalls a lot. Hits a zone and it kind of thinks about it. You know, it's kind of like one of those, you know, it's that type of individual where basically you ask it a question and it really does think about it. And then it, when it decides to answer, it kind of starts, you know, answering, and then it, you know, continues to speed up sometimes. So, this NQ trade, man, oh man, oh man. Yeah, I'm starting the trades too early. I should have started the trade right here. That's where I should have started the trade. I shouldn't have started the trade down below.
Order filled.
So I started the trade too early. So, because, yeah, I started the trade too early. I don't know how many times I can say that. Let me say that one more time.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Momentum and bias check on chart 4 is the NQ trade that I took. All right, so now we're just fighting momentum in chart 2 now. Friggin', like, that's the only thing about, like, that's a little frustrating in the middle of these trades, right? Is that okay? Now we are fighting the bias on chart 5. Sorry, chart 1 of the NQ. And it is trying to still hold momentum. So technically it's still momentum long. So technically on chart 5, this is a fade trade. On chart 4, it's not. Chart 1, it's kind of in a change, or chart 3, it's in this changeover state. Chart 2, it's kind of in a changeover state too, as well. And the buyers are being, you know, once again, they're stepping up, right? But they've got slapped kind of at the key levels. So now it's just a matter of, you know, is the pattern on the 5 going to play out the way that we see the
Order
pattern
filled.
on the 5?
Order filled.
So we'll see. What would they be massively wrong here, or would be massively right? Massive Jeep. Got 37 minutes, and we're at 10:22 in the market. We've got a level there, and then we've got a new level that's developed here. I started this trade a little too early. You know, it might just continue to move up. Well, NatGas, at least we're in profit there. Should be happy about that whole situation.
Order filled.
I didn't project out properly the bias reaction either. So I should have been projecting out properly. I should have been thinking about, okay, like this is the first bias check for the day. Number one, I should have took that trade, and I did, but then I got out early, right? And then I should have recognized a little bit of the stair-step pattern that's happening on chart 2. Then I should have really asked and said, okay, like, is this going to be like a 3 or 4 bar reaction from the RDA? What is it going to be on the 5, right? What is that reaction going to be? That's what I should have been asking myself.
Order filled.
Tolman, I'll look at that session level ultimate. Yeah, no, that's Art of Crypto. Yeah. So here's the thing. Oh, we do have the code. Like, okay, we're getting an opportunity to get out at break at a profit level here. I think we take it.
Order filled.
All right. Look, I can start over. We're up 3,800. We've been playing around with this 3,800 P&L all day because I've been doing some bad trades here and there, or just not trading highly effectively. I'm still, you know. Okay. So now we just need to decide on the NQ trade here. We're up about 180 on the NG trade. Might get knocked out of that, but I think all of our positions are in profit. All of our trailing stops are in profit. I shouldn't say I think. I should look. Yeah, all of our trailing stops are in profit. It is a fade trade, so we need to keep that in mind. Now, see, the market gave me an opportunity to get out. I got out. Some profit there in the NQ. Now, starting over with probably where I probably should have started this trade in the first place with a lower position size. So I think I was at 10 lots, was I? Something like that. So now, you know, yeah, I'm directionally probably still looking at the same thing, a short here, but it also was stalling there. So I think short's still on the table, but let's ease our way into this position now. This is where I should have started. Well, I should have started the position back. I should have started the position and been patient based on the
Order
RDA
filled.
check and said, okay, the move that's happening is an RDA check, and then is there going to be a multi-candle response here? That's what I should have done. And now what I'm doing is I'm just being very cautious with the buys, and then I'm putting in trailing stops, and I'm either going to get taken out on a trailing stop, or it's going to move like in my direction here. Okay.
Stop filled.
Got
Stop
stopped out of
filled.
the NG trade. All 3 lots. That's kind of weird. And I probably ripped down and then impulsed up. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. No reason to take a loss on this trade. So we got our trailing stops in. We'll see how that performs here on the NQ. GC did hold up a little bit there, but the problem with GC is that it's kind of the similar pattern
Stop
of NQ.
filled.
So it's like chart 2 on the GC is, I don't like where it's at. On the 60. On the 60, it looks, I mean, it's got rejection highs, but, you know, it didn't tag that level. But you look and see where it stopped, where GC stopped. GC stopped right at that level, 2010. So I mean that's something to keep in mind. So I guess what you could do possibly is that you could kind of say, okay, we're going to have an RDA check on chart 2, and then it's probably going to pull back. Let's see if I can get picked up on a position, just a participatory position at 2012. Sorry. Oh, I actually did get disconnected here once. So I'll be calling it at 11 just because I've got many things I got to do. And we need to do them. And streaming takes me from doing them.
Stop field.
So if you're new here, you'll want to join via Discord, because when I'm not streaming, I share my trades on Discord. And I answer questions and I interact with everybody there on Discord. So if you're looking for the best place to actually, streams are great, but if you're looking for the best place to actually engage and be part of, learn trading, develop an edge, maybe even learn more about the system that you see being traded before you, joining Discord down below is the best thing. If you are ready to get started in the rec stock system, just send me you can visit the website. There's a link, there's a button on there that says get started now. You just can't join. I'd like to talk to everybody, and just confirm that it's a fit, and you kind of have at least it's nothing. I'm not going to do a super rectal exam or anything. It's going to be just to get to know you a little bit, and just to make sure that, you're fit for the community, and that kind of have the right mindset going into what you're doing, or what we're doing. So, but if it is a fit, you can also join Discord, send me a DM there. Yeah, I should have been long there on the NQ. And then GC, I think possibly on GC, I guess we can look at doing a momentum trade check here right at 2015 spot 4. So I'll put a protective stop in there in case it rips. That protective stop is just above the ATR band. So now we're going to do a short here on
order
the
filled,
and then we're going to short up to the extreme band up above it. Okay, we got picked up on the GC trade. And now we just need to go in there and manage it correctly. Okay, without all the screens going to super mode. I thought we got picked up on that GC trade. No, we got picked up. Well, okay. We didn't get picked up yet on the GC trade. Why did it do that little beep? Probably the best is look for an overshoot, and then right there is probably the better entry. So 2016 spot 3 is probably the better entry on GC. And then, NQ might be going to test the 60 open, which is probably right around where my entries are, which is right around there. So that might be where it's trying to go. So, that's the trade. Look for the 60 open, tag it, fail, go down again. So that would be the way to trade that. And then it's aligning with what chart 4 is telling you as well. So, no, it is, Tolman. You're right. Absolutely, you're right. Yes. And I saw that, and I didn't trade it. I was in that, I got out, and then I didn't trade it. But, so, that's one of the reasons why I kind of like, when I was in that short, and then, so, you probably didn't see, when I was in that short, actually, you know what I can do? I can use the Microsoft Talk. When I was in that short, that's why I didn't stick with it. I got out at roughly $600 in profit because the stair-step pattern on chart 2, it was just very obvious. Now, okay, now let's look at we haven't looked at the index chart in a while. Okay, thank you, Amy, for telling me that my session disconnected and then doing it on every chart that I actually use. I appreciate it. I do apologize for trying to talk directly to TradingView's tech support through the stream. All right, so I'm in one lot on NQ. We're looking to maybe get picked up on the GC trade right around 2016 spot 3. What we're looking for is there sell-off potential here on the NQ. Damn it, every chart I gotta say I'm disconnected. Come on. All right, so this is one of those things like, look, let's look at this here. Let's do out of tunnel vision, right? Let's project out this day, and let's say at the end of the day we're grading the chart, which this is one of the things I need to release is how we grade the chart, and then that post, and then share the philosophy, not the philosophy, the stringent standards that we use to grade the chart. So, for instance, let's say the day remains bias and momentum short. What would you have said about this day? Well, you would have said that was obvious at the end of the day. Right now, it's not so obvious. It's obviously a little bit more difficult to trade in real time. But what can we say? Well, it gapped down. It tried to the first target it had was the weekly open, and then it failed at it once, twice, and then 3 times a lady, whatever that song is. Isn't that how it goes? Once, twice, 3 times a lady. Whoever sings that song. And then it sold off, and then it created, it went past the previous lows of this area here, and it found support at the RDA extreme bands. It also found support at a key level on chart 4. Also found support, so, okay. Now, from the 5-minute perspective, just straight out of that, well, we've got an RSI signal possibly printing here. So we got green, green, follow through. Red, green, red. We're looking for follow through now. So this is one of those things where if you probably look back in this day, you would say, well, it was so obvious that it was momentum short, especially when it gave up the weekly open 3 times in a row. So I'm not saying that that's it's one thing you want to be consistently doing is that you have a trade system that is predictive in nature. But then, one of the best things you can do is then project to stay out of tunnel vision and take a higher picture approach of what's happening. Why is TradingView telling me that I'm logged out of various areas? Fucking A. I literally, every day I deal with some kind of technology issue that maybe it's normal. Maybe I'm just completely screwed up. Maybe just, maybe like these technology issues are just, I don't know. I do wish I could get paid for every little stupid notification that pops up that I don't want.
Order filled.
Okay, there we go. See, once again, you should be trading extremes with the predictive nature. So we're not going to trade any more till up here. So that's where we're going to trade more. Oh, yeah, Lionel Richie. That's right. Yeah, I knew it was. I could picture, 3 times a lady. Yeah. Lionel Richie or the Commodores, yeah. Once, twice. I need a soundboard. That's what I need. I don't know if I need it. Because, I do have soundboards.
Yeah, I can dig it, Jack. I can dig it. Come on, this has been my worst physical year ever. Yes.
But Black Dynamite. I sell drugs in the community. So I don't know if I need a soundboard. No, I like that song. For those, you can follow my Spotify playlist. I think I've shared most of them. You'll notice I have a Spotify playlist on everything but country, if I've shared them all. You'll notice that my rap playlists are bigger because I used to own a rap record label back in the day. So in my early 20s, I owned a rap record label. European, or we had up to how many artists do we have at one time? Well, we had a death metal group too. So we had a German death metal group. Go figure. I wonder where those dudes are. I should contact those dudes. We had some great times in Germany. I don't remember some of them, but we had some great times. One time was at Oktoberfest. I definitely do not remember Oktoberfest. I do remember the tremendous amount of smell. the I don't know how to properly describe the brevity of smell that existed at Oktoberfest. All right, now I'm going to be pissed for basically entering that trade at what was a high probability area to
Order
enter that
filled.
trade. But, so the indexes continue to sell off. Let's see what the internal... Okay, that's the problem. Why would I want to leave the site, dude? That's the problem. My chart wasn't updating. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. No wonder why. I was like, why is the NQ moving and I don't see any in NDX? Okay. So once again, we're messing with the fast momentum indicator, and then we're doing a check here. So of course it's going for the weekly open. So we've got a RSI, RSI, RSI. Once again, it's not your main signal. You're not using the RSI as your main signal, but it is a confirmation signal. And the confirmation signal needs to align with other things that you're seeing in the 4-chart setup. So that's how we use the RSI. Is this trade going to be one of those
Order
trades
filled.
where I'm in the middle of a range? So, my basis is in the middle of a range, but like I traded at the right area. It's just the overshoot. So once again, I got a plan for an overshoot. And then the challenge is that it might just rip up here because we're getting close to the end of hour. So, the other thing that's happening here in chart 3 that's a little concerning is that 60-minute might hold the RDA. It might hold momentum. And in that case, then it might rip up and just recapture the weekly open. So I might have a short bias here that I shouldn't have. But as far as I'm concerned, the 5-minute chart's telling us that. But the challenge is that we're so close to the weekly open, the buyers might just decide that they want to push it up. Dude, stop telling me every single friggin' chart. Wish I could turn that stuff off. Every chart. See, every chart now I open up in TradingView, it tells you, okay, you're disconnected. Every friggin' chart. I said, if I wish I was paid handsomely for
Order filled.
every okay I have to click on every, like I was in Word the other day, and then Word suddenly just pops up something and says, hey, take a survey to tell us how you like Word. I'm like,
Order filled.
see, that's what's happening. Fuck you, you fucking asshole. Yeah, okay, seriously, dude. So need to be mindful of this move here. Now, why am I trading it? Well, we're at the VWAP on big tech. So there's a possibility that
Order filled.
that there's going to be a reaction there, and then we've got the reaction zone up here. But really, so far, the trade's telling me that I probably should have been on the other side of the trade based on how it's impulsing. Yeah. Yep, should have been on the other side of that trade, especially when it recaptured the open of the previous, of that 60-minute. So we'll have one more opportunity here to add to trade ourselves out of this. But once again, that's kind of this is a hard area to trade, actually. Because, yeah, I should have went with chart 2 there.
Order filled.
Need to be a little bit more patient for that level test up there. Problem is the level's way up here. But we've got that VWAP test there, so we're watching that closely. Oh, you didn't notify me here. Thanks, TradingView. I appreciate it. What's new? Look, a new look for your charts. Next time you decide to change chart type, look at the options list carefully. You'll notice 2 new chart types, step line and line with markers. But no tick charts. No tick charts. It's actually easier to add tick charts than it is to line with markers. Friggin' TradingView, man. Don't want to add tick charts, little bastards. How hard is it to add tick charts? Yeah, weekly open. Damn it. That friggin'. Yeah, that's. I called it too. Didn't reverse at the right time. Nah, you bastard. That's where it's going. It's exactly where it's going. And it's probably going to recapture it. Probably what it's going to try to do.
Order filled.
So, you know. Once again, the buyers do not want to sell off here in this environment. So, now kind of going against the momentum of the overall higher time frame there, right? Because for it to sell off, the higher time frame would have had to communicate to the rest of the charts saying, hey, you know, we want to sell off here. So that's kind of something to keep in mind there. I will be getting off here at 11. Like I said, I'm not gonna. I'm maybe even getting off a little bit sooner too. What does it say? Proof that they have no idea what they're talking about. We released the seconds. Oh yeah. At the moment, there is an opportunity to use seconds time frame charts premium plan, which are closer to tick charts. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like, no, like, once again, I mean, I think we talked about this when you shared it before, AZJ, right? Which is like, well, yeah, they're closer, I guess, if like you live in an alternative universe, because it's still a time chart. So I understand what they're trying to say, except for it's a facetious argument. They'd be thrown out in court. They'd be disbarred for that argument. Yeah. I mean, I get it. They don't, you know, that's the thing. They don't, like, I religiously, I mean, I've went as far as like trying, like I said before, I'm trying, you know, if I ever get the opportunity for a leader within TradingView, and I get that, I'm in an elevator with them, I actually do need to come up with what my elevator pitch would be. Which I would, like, I mean, it can't be that hard. And I think they're not doing it for there's probably some kind of business reasons that I don't understand, that we don't understand, that they're not doing it for.
Order
There's
filled.
probably some business reason. Like maybe it's maybe, you know, they are trying to be a trading platform. So yeah, and I noticed that their trading has got a little bit better. So I will give them props on that. Their trading has got a little bit better. Doge is down 6%. There's the final test. We'll see here, right here. It's going to work or not. Yeah. Totally misread that. Waiting for the level test. That's what I should have waited for. Just when I saw that impulse.
Order filled.
I need to empty this real quick. I'll be right back. I will be right back.
Order filled.
Where you at, buddy? Oh, there you are, man. How you doing? No. You're like, I'm over here, dude. We're having coffee a little bit late here today, Rex. Did you know that? I'll be right back. I had to take off to the restroom.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Hey, buddy. Want to stay here? Fuck you. All right, we back. Looks like these little dumb buyers, or I don't know if they're dumb, but let's just call them dumb for now. I think they want to recapture the weekly open. Where are we at, P&L? Sorry, it didn't show the chart here. 45, 40, 47. That's where we're at today. Once again, you know, once to start where we were at, or to set the table. Not set the table. You know, I'd say I'm doing okay trading wise. There's a few times where I'm falling into a little bit old habits, or my bad habit that I'm working on addressing. But overall, I think we're trading pretty solidly. We're long on the NQ. I don't see any other opportunity. If it doesn't move right away here, then I'm going to get out. It needs to move right now.
Order filled.
All right, we're out. I don't know. It's right on the weekly open, so it's not worth messing around with here. But it's obvious, I mean, to me, it's obvious that the downside or the buy side is stepping up. And if you're going to look at today, it looks like it did a slow momentum check. I think, you know,
Order
it
filled.
seems to be obvious that the buyers want to continue to buy the market. They want to continue to there's buyers in the market. They're continuing to buy the lows. So they want to drive it up. They want to drive it up to that August 2022 level. And where is that? That is, didn't get picked up on that GC trade. We were too aggressive on that entry. Where are we at here? CL, we're in the middle of a range. We have no opportunity there. Plus our levels need to be redrawn on that. That level is no longer valid. The new level is 77.03 or 04. So that's the new level. And then NG is at the opening range low, so we trade that.
Order filled.
3 lots on the NG at the opening range low. It's also at the RDA on it's an RDA check with the RDA slightly glancing up. And then you've got, you know, I think you got to do one more entry up to here. So for that trade, you know, I shouldn't have done that trade right there right away. Or I should have, but what I should have done is scaled in the one with what I need to do on these NG trades is not just do 3 lots right away. I need to scale in on 1 lots and just be okay with just getting picked up on 2 or 3 here. Until I kind of get more in sync with the NG more. I'm not totally in sync with it like I used to be. The only difference, just so when I say in sync, so like, you know, the NQ is a fast moving beast, typically. But, you know, GC and the GC and what's the other one? GC and NG, sorry, are these kind of slow moving beasts sometimes. So, you know, you just got to kind of, it's kind of, in some ways I liken trading sometimes, not GC, but CL. Not CL so much comparatively to NG, but NG sometimes is like, sometimes it feels like you're trading the overnight session sometimes. Okay, we're in 1 lot trade there. And then we're in We're about $120 down on the NG trade, but I'm looking to scale in up to the RDA. There is where I'm looking to scale in. So it's kind of a large scale in range, but it's what we're given. And then the NQ, if it looks like it's going to break the weekly open. Well, what is this? What is this chart? Damn it, Mike, you're in my way again. Let's look at this. We continue to improve our platform, but we don't want to add tick charts. We're excited to announce the addition of two new line charts, but not tick charts. The step line and line with markers are already on the chart, but not tick charts. Both of these new additions will help you improve readability of the chart. The step line type allows you to avoid sharp corners on the chart and display price levels more clearly, which is convenient in combination with linear drawing tools such as the horizontal ray or the fib retracement. But we refuse to add tick charts. Line markers focus on specific instrument prices with the help of markers, which, for example, can be used as reference points when plotting a trend line. Trend lines don't give you tremendous edge. I see them. You notice I don't have any trend lines. Why don't I have any trend lines? Because I don't want to support the trend lines continue as an edge opportunity that traders should look for. Do they play a role? Yeah. But do you need to draw them? No. That's why you don't see me draw any trend lines anymore. You don't see any charts that have any trend lines. I don't.
Order filled.
Trend lines do not provide edge alone. Trend lines interpreted maybe through a momentum trading system possibly provide edge. Possibly. But even then, not really. There's not that much edge there. Let's go to, so it's still failing at the weekly open, so we need to get out of this trade. No
Order
idea.
filled.
Maybe it's going to fail. At this point in time, it's a no trade zone. Because what can we do? We can wait till 13040, and then we can probably trade the sell-off. It's going to come. Otherwise, I'm kind of in a no trade zone again. There's no reason to be burning through P&L for a no trade zone. And we're up on the NG trade, at least initially here. We'll see if that continues to sell off. And then CL is got a level down below, and then we've got a new level on CL. CL, then the upside level is 77.58, and then the downside level is 77.04 on CL. Yeah, so here's the thing. Until it loses this momentum, like it's almost, you trade, I mean, right now it's at the RDA. Almost you trade the RDA. And then
order filled.
You trade overshoots. I'm not going to get too aggressive because it's 1 o'clock. What? What do you mean it's been canceled? This is where you need to. So now I might reverse here quickly if this trade starts, because we're in a new hour now on the 60, and the 60 rejected at the level, and then the 60 might go down to here. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing the chart. My bad. You know, with all these executions, that's the 60 might go down to here, down to 117. I don't anticipate that, but it might. That's where the RDA is. So it might go down that far. Is that the new order or is that the old one? I think that's the new one. You little fucks. What the hell, dude? You know, everything's getting worse nowadays. It seems like it anyways. All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to call the stream because it's 11 and I just can't continue to stream and not be focused on other things. You know, so everybody has been great being here. Let's do a P&L check before we head out. P&L is 4077. That's P&L right now. So P&L wise, light P&L. But I started the day with what?
Order filled.
Got picked up on NQ again, once again. You know, my proclivity there is to short the heck out of that. But, you know, the buyers have stepped up. But once again, that might be the final weekly test where then it wants to sell off. But you're kind of then arguing with the 60. You're kind of arguing with the chart 4. So it's like, how much do you want to argue with that chart? This would be an overshoot of the RDA. But, you know, and then we're trading that momentum. This 5 probably needs to be moved down. Probably needs to move down here. I mean, we're scaling in perfectly. So it's just a matter of, like, the right trade there was probably the fade sell at the level check. Perfect level check. Probably was the right trade. That is a perfect level check. Look at that. I'm going to send this in Trade Room Alpha. Look at that. This is chart 4, by the way. Perfect level check. Trade Room Alpha. I'll share it in the futures, too. Futures. Look at that. Perfect level check. Look at that. Bam. I'm trading in kind of the wrong zones here. That's the middle of a range. So that's why I'm only in 2 lots. That's why I'm also not adding until later or lower. I'm using the 60 as the thesis for the trade, really, which means that I should have started, you know, I should have traded down to that, yeah. So, you know, what's frustrating about today is I'm actually trying to adjust my trading, but like I'm actually trading against what my instinct is, and my instincts have been right. So that's what's extremely frustrating about what I'm doing right now.
Order filled.
Is that I'm trading against my instincts. But most of the trades that I would be trading would be fade trades. So I would have faded that move in an ordinary day. Ordinary day, I would have faded that move. Especially the way that it's going now. So, like an ordinary day, I would have faded that move all day long. So, I'm just a little frustrated with that whole situation. All right. I gotta go. I got other things I gotta do. So I look forward to seeing everybody here later. Number one thing you can do is join Discord. Join Discord if you're ready to jump on and trade the best trade system on the planet. All you got to do is actually just send me a DM and say, how do I get started? Visit the website. You can learn more. Yes, you're going to have to read, but you know what? Reading's great. All right. I will be sharing trades that I'll be executing during the lunch. I know lunch is for, hey, let's actually do that sound card. Do I have that?
Lunch? Oh, you gotta be kidding. Lunch is for wimps.
We're out.